Hey BC, Gary's Vinyl Dungeon here. It's been like 3 weeks since I've done a video. Sorry for the shaking, but I want to show you guys something. I got a very large purchase for my sound system. Got crazy. So I'll let you see it now that we can get on with the vinyl stuff. But let me see here. I'm going to try to flip this over here. Okay. There's my Polks that used to be the front surround sound speakers. I had to move them because I bought these monsters. These are Cornwall, Klipsch Cornwall 3s. They sound incredible, I'm telling you. Then I had to take my RB81s that were sitting here for my music over by my desk. I had to move them up there so I could put them on top because of the size of these Cornwalls. These things sound amazing. Great speakers. I know everybody, can't afford something like that, but they are just really nice sounding speakers. And I got 2 of those, and then something else here I picked up. I never had a tuner hook to this. It's in my Macintosh, and I bought a Rotel tuner. Picked it up pretty cheap because it had little little white dots all over it from somebody. Looks like they sprayed in their room or did the ceiling and didn't cover anything up or whatever. But anyway, there was, and that really sounds good for a tuner, I'm telling you. It sounds like a CD playing. Yeah, that's the 2 things that I picked up. I got the tuner for under, well actually no, it was around 150. It was under 200 bucks, but that's pretty good for a Rotel tuner. And anyway, let me get back over here and start doing my vinyl finds. There's so many. I'm not going to talk too much about them because they're just too many. But here we go. Okay, guys, I'm back at my desk. I've picked up so many records. Get away. Dog's going crazy. I bought some Mo5 pressings, 4 of those. And I told you like 3 weeks I was in a place that was selling them, getting half price for their albums. And I picked up a bunch there. Then I went to this other record store and I picked up a huge pile here. And I went online to CD_imports and bought another pile. Plus I have 2 the black box vinyl and 2 purchases from Walmart. So let me get the good ones out of the way here first. And these are all popular albums that most people have because they're good ones. But the first one here is Dire Straits. Everybody knows this album. It's an incredible album, and it's incredible sounding when it's on the original Mo5 master recordings. There's that one. And this is another Grateful Dead album that I wanted to get on Mo5. It's In the Dark, and it does sound really good. And this one, I didn't even have this one. All those I have regular album of. But I didn't have this album, and I've been wanting to get it. And then I said, heck with it, I'm going to get the original master recording. And that's Salty Dog by Procol Harum. I know everybody knows this album. It's a really good album. But got that one. And then this last one is another great album. I really like Men at Work. but it's business as usual on MoFi. But these are all albums that everybody knows. I mean, I would assume people have them in their collection. My two Black Box Record albums were Townes Van Zandt, and it's For the Sake of the Song. Didn't have any of his stuff. Never really played him that much, but I enjoyed his lyrics. Guy's got a hell of a way with words. It's a good album. I really enjoyed listening to this, so I'm gonna have to try to pick up some more of him. Another one they sent me was a picture disc of Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's a 12-inch single. It's called Go Robot. But one on the side A is Go Robot, and the other side's Dreams of a Samurai, and they're both live recordings. Was in Walmart with my wife and picked up these two. One of them's a soundtrack, Motley Crue, The Dirt soundtrack, and like I said, I wasn't buying soundtracks, and now all of a sudden I'm buying soundtracks. Who knows? The other one is Foreigner, Jukebox Heroes. It's basically a greatest hits album. Sounds really good though. Got a great sound to it. Sounds really good on my new speakers. And let's see, what pile do I want to use first? Be right with you. These are ones I bought on eBay. Okay, Metallica Load. And like I said, these are all albums. Let me see, Metallica, I don't know. That was 1996, this album came out. 6th studio album. Next album, Iron Maiden. This is a live album in vivo. This is a really good album. I like this one too. This is really good. Let's see. This is the Beach Boys. I ordered Surf's Up, and this is totally different than the rest of their albums. I know people know this album, but it's a good album. I'm glad I purchased it. Now this was on sale, and I've got all these albums, separately. But when I seen it for the price they had it at $39, and it was usually $100 and something. And it's a ZZ Top, a Cinco #2, and it's got the second 5 albums in it. And it's let me see if there's no picture there. So I'll spit them out to you. This is Recycler, Afterburner. Everybody knows these albums, so Eliminator, El Loco. Like I said, I have all these separately, but when it went down to $39 on eBay, I jumped on it. I was like, man, this is crazy. Here, and Duguaylo. I like every one of these albums, so had to pick them up. And it also comes with a book. But for that price, how can you not pick it up? They force you to buy it. Because the last time I seen it was like $129, and I put it in my want list, and then when I seen it went down to $39, I jumped on it. Okay, next album, Rush. I'm a big Rush fan, And this is Hold Your Fire. This is another Rush album called Feedback. This is a cover songs that they did. And they did a great job on them. Heart for Soul, For What It's Worth, Shapes of Things, Crossroads. Really did a great job. Really enjoyed listening to that album. It's got a good sound to it, and it's an enjoyable listen. Another Rush album, A Show of Hands. It's a gatefold. I think this is ZZ Top's latest album, La Futura. I believe it is when I looked it up. La Futura. Let me see if I got it here. Yeah, this came out in 2012. 2012. It's their 15th studio album, but it's good. I really enjoyed it. Of course, everybody knows this one. Judas Priest, Point of Entry. Judas Priest. This is our We Are vinyl, 180 gram. These records are, and this one is Stained Glass. These are all new albums, and Nirvana's third and last album, In Utero. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to this yet. Of course, you guys know I'm working on my cabinets, but I decided to get somebody else in here and do it. I was tired of messing with it. 3 weeks in, and I haven't even finished the island cabinet yet, because they need 3 coats and 2 coats of primer and sanding, a little light sanding in between. Plus I sanded them down from the stain on them. Too much freaking work out in that heat, let me tell you. I'm too old to be doing that shit out in that heat. I told my wife, I said, we got to call somebody up and do this. I'm not doing this anymore. And it wasn't that bad. I'd rather pay somebody $1,800 to do it than to be out there in the freaking sun. Another pile. I got these at Rest in Peace record store here in town, and I didn't know about this album. I seen it, and I said, "Oh, there's an REM album I don't have." And it's a Should We Talk About the Weather, and on the back it says Should We Talk About the Government. But it's a mixture of songs and interviews. It's different. I mean, they do play music in it, but it's a lot of talking in it. Didn't know that, but oh well, part of the collection, right? Here's another one. I like Marshall Tucker. Every time I'd go down to Bike Week down in Myrtle Beach, Marshall Tucker's from South Carolina, and they usually played at the Coliseum there, like the little place they have bands. And it's Marshall Tucker, Carolina Dreams. And it's basically brand new. I mean, it's, good condition. Wasn't that much. Here's another music on vinyl. This is a new one. This is Leonard Skinner. And it's a double album. It's basically a greatest hits album. But the sound reproduction on this is fantastic. Really does sound good. Sorry I'm going through these so fast, but got too much to sit there and talk too much about them. It would run into an hour. Next one is Rush, Vapor Trails Remixed. And just from the reviews on Amazon, most people said this album really needed to be redone, and they did a great job on it. Now, I didn't have the first copy, but I did buy this one, and it does sound good. I really enjoy this album. Of course, I'm a Rush fan, right? But Let me see, did I write anything on here about that? Let's see. Paper trails. Nope. I didn't write anything. That's the album I picked up later. I had this pad and I wrote some stuff down. Okay, the next two here are Savoy Brown. There's the first one. It's got a little ring wear, but the vinyl itself is good. Next one's Looking In, Savoy Brown. They're, I like Savoy Brown. I have a few of their albums. Let's see, Soundgarden, Down on the Upside. I like Soundgarden too. I'll be honest with you, I haven't listened to this. There's some of them I've listened to and some I haven't. But I'll be able to catch up real quick here because I don't have to do the cabinets no more. Okay, there's Kansas, Two for the Show. Gatefold. Pretty cool inside. It's like a stadium. People sitting in it, looking out over scenery, like up in the clouds. Pretty cool looking though. Next one's Jefferson Airplane, Long John Silver. This is a weird album, the way it folds out and everything, but it's got a cut mark like they usually do on them, but the vinyl was perfect. In Excess, The Swing. Another good album. This is an upgrade. The Best of Jimi Hendrix. I know everybody knows this album, but it's this is like perfect shape. I mean, perfect. It still had shrink wrap on it, because people, I guess, whoever had it, just pulled out the records, you know, after they split it and never opened it up. But yeah, I think I know this is a master. Next one is Heart, and it's called Heart. Fitting in there. There we go. This is like a greatest hits album. Crazy on You, Barracuda, Dreamboat Annie, Magic Man, Heartless, Dog and Butterfly. Let's see. I don't need to name them all. Like Heart. Foghat, Zigzag Walk. Foghat's albums are hit and miss. Some are good, some not so good. But if I see them out, I'll pick them up. There's another Dylan album. I didn't have this one. It's called Infidels. And I haven't played this one yet either. Okay. Now. Another file? Yeah, I'm crazy. It's an addiction. Let's see, another Savoy Brown record. This is Rock and Roll Warriors. Haven't listened to it to even let you know if it's any good, but this is Hellbound Train, Savoy Brown. Savoy Brown's Step Further. I've been wanting this album, Stars. Found it, and it's in really good shape. This is a live Alice Cooper album. It's a promo copy. Sounds really good, and I like that I played it because I'm starting to become a big Alice Cooper fan. I've been trying to find his stuff out, crate digging, and found that one. There's another one I found. Lace 'em Whiskey, Alice Cooper. I haven't listened to this one yet, so I don't know. Like I said, I've been working out of them cabinets out in the damn heat. Grateful Dead album, Blues for, I don't even know the name. It's written the way it is. Blues for Allah. I never had seen this album, but I haven't listened to it either. Another, I've been really getting into picking up any Stephen Stills I find out in the wild. This one here sounds great. I believe this was his first, did I write it down here? I think this was his first album after leaving Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, I believe. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. But it's a good album, real good album. I did play this one. Okay, Black Sabbath, Live Evil. Then I was watching Darcy Six Strings, and he showed some CDs of this band. I think it's a German band called Accept. I believe it's German. My memory's bad, you guys know that. But I got 3 of their CDs, and then I happened to be crate digging here and found this one, so I picked it up. And let's see, this is called Balls to the Wall album. But they're pretty good. Get out there. Get. Sorry, my cat was in my play box here that I have, and it looked like she was getting ready to pee in it. She was squatting like she was. Anna Miles. Okay, here's another one, Blondie, Parallel Lines. This is a good album. I did play this one. I like Blondie. This is a local band. I used to go out and see these all the time. They were from Hagerstown, Maryland. And they were always around in the nightclubs. And I used to go see them. Every time I'd seen they were playing somewhere, I'd go see them. These guys could kick ass, man. They were a good rock and roll band. It's called Kicks. But they were from, I don't know, 10 miles away. Okay, next one, Scorpions, Hot and Heavy. I haven't listened to this one yet. It's RCA Blue label, like a aqua label. I picked this up because it was so cheap. The Babies anthology. I can remember Babies being out, but they're on Chrysalis. But yeah, it's anthology and it's only 1 record, so who knows. Next one, Billy Idol. It's Whiplash Smile. Another one, I think this was the only Molly Hatchet album I didn't have. And The Deed Is Done. Love my Southern rock bands. I went and seen Molly Hatchet probably 5-6 times when I was younger. They used to come to Washington all the time. I lived in Baltimore, so I would hop over there and see them. Good sounding band live. They really rocked. Okay. Now the next set of records, this is a pretty big pile here. The antique mall in town here, they were moving from one mall to the next. There's another one up in the middle of town they just opened up. It was cheaper rent for him, so he moved. And he put everything that was in the one. He had a pretty good pile of records sitting there. I mean, he had a good selection. But he had everything 50% off. So a lot of these I only paid $4 and $5 for. So I had to pick them up. You know how that goes. The price is right. Some of them I had already, but they were such good copy and so cheap. I picked them up anyway. But there's a pretty good pile here. And just like I said, I'm picking up Stephen Stills when I see it. Stephen Stills Live. Good album. Did listen to this one because this was before I got involved in the cabinets. Bachman Turner Overdrive, Not Fragile. It's like brand new. I had to pick it up. Like I said, they forced me to pick it up. I think it was like $5. Okay, here's another one. This is kind of a corny album here, but I picked it up because I think it was only $3. And it was like brand new. It's Gary Puckett and the Union Gap's greatest hits. Woman, Woman, Young Girl. These were out when I was a kid. Well, not a kid, but I was 16, 17. I guess that's a kid. Here's another one. I think I had this one, but this was $6. You can see on the album cover there it says 12, but they were half price. This is 10 years after, A Space and Time, and it was an upgrade. The outside is pretty good, and the vinyl is perfect. So I picked it up as a, there's another 10 years album, 10 years after album. It's Positive Vibrations. And another 10 years after, Cricklewood Green. Weird name for an album, but it's on Durham. I used to love 10 years after when the album, I started getting into them when the album Shush come out, and man, I love that album. I used to play that over and over and over. Drove my wife crazy, but then that's when I got into them. Here's 2 Vanilla Fudge albums. Let's see. I think this is their debut album, Vanilla Fudge. Everybody knows this album. But, and this one here is called The Beat Goes On, Vanilla Fudge. Like I said, some of these I had already. And, some of them, I didn't. This one I didn't, and it was Steppenwolf, Hour of the Wolf. It's on Epic. Another Steppenwolf, Slow Flux. I had never heard of this one before, but it was $4 and it was perfect condition. Like I said, they force you to buy it. Graham Nash, Wild Tales. This is one of his, I think, earlier ones that he did too, after he left Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. It's pretty good though. I liked it. It's on Atlantic. You can see why Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young was such a good band. When they went out separately, and they, all their stuff that they created was good. Good group. Ted Nugent, Scream Dream. I bought a bunch of Ted Nugent's I had sitting there. This one was $7. It's on Epic. Ted Nugent, Little Miss Dangerous. This is on a Red Atlantic. Ted Nugent, Intensities in 10 Cities. This was $5. Ted Nugent, Penetration. It's tattoo. Somebody did a good job on that. On Atlantic. Another Ted Nugent. I got a bunch of them here. Ted Nugent. This is just called Nugent. I hope it's not too reflective. Another Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes. Survival of the Fittest Live. This is on Polydor. Greg Allman, Laid Back. I like this album a lot. I got 2 Greg Allmans here. I believe it's 2. Yeah. This one I really liked. The outside cover's got a little ring wear, but the vinyl itself is in perfect shape. And it sounds really good. Oop, making a mess here. Another one, Greg Allman Band. This is called Playing Up a Storm. Trying to get the glare off. Haven't listened to that one. Another Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, Call of the Wild. Vinyl's in perfect shape. This is on Discreet Records. Kind of a cool cover. Next two. I picked them up because they were like $2.50. They had them for $5 and they were half price. But I can remember listening to this. My brother was into them, and he had a reel-to-reel, and he used to buy a Venture on reel-to-reel, and we had some nice speakers in our room. And I remember him playing these songs, and they sounded so good on that reel-to-reel. But the Venture Surfing, it's got Pipeline on it. Like I said, they were inexpensive. And then this one is, it's called Go. California Dreamin'. These boots are made for walking. Monday, green grass. Sloop John B, 8 Miles High. Frankie and Johnny, Good Lovin'. But they sound really good. I mean, these are old records from the 60s and early 60s, and they were in perfect shape. Well, I believe that's it. Oh no, I didn't want to show this. I pick up 45s too, but I don't really show you too much about them. But I go up to the Goodwill, and every time I see something that I don't have, I pick it up, even though I got it on vinyl. I don't know. Must be a sickness. But I ordered this from the CD_imports. I guess that's what it's called. And it had the full album of Judas Priest. This is a Japanese pressing, and it was supposed to be. It was $28 on sale, and when I ordered it, they sent me this, EP, not the LP. It's actually it's like a whole like a 33 and plays on 33, but there's only one song per side, and it sounds good. But so I said, well, what the hell, they screwed up. So I ordered another one because I wanted, the album. And this is off the Firepower album, by the way. And they sent me another one. So I got sent that back yesterday. I had to go up to the post office and drop it off, get rid of that, because I wasn't keeping two of them. I kept this one, and I should have sent it back because I paid $28 for this. Anyway, on Amazon Prime Day, they had Firepower for, I think it was after they took 20% off. It was 20% off of $22.99 or $23.99. So, paid under 20 for it, which, I don't mind that. But anyway, that's the 45. I knew one thing I wanted to tell everybody. There is a internet store. It's called Joe's Albums. I've been buying a lot from there. I used to buy a lot from there years ago when I first started collecting again. And the only problem is they don't list the condition. But most of the time I get them, they're in good shape. I've never been screwed over. And the prices are really decent. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it's Joe's Albums. And you might want to look it up. They have a shitload of albums. I don't know. It's so many pages when you start looking through. You can't, at one sitting, you'll never look at them all. Anyway, they sell CDs and albums and 45s. But it's a good cheap place to, and they don't charge a whole lot for shipping. which is, you know, that's a big thing for me anyway. But anyway, I wanted a little bit of update on my cabinets. It took me 3 weeks, and I'm still not done the island cabinets because they had to be sanded all down to get the stain and everything off of them. Then I had to prime them. I primed them, and I told my wife before she went up to the store to get the paint. I said, whatever you do not get enamel paint. Make sure it's water-based. She walks in the door and says, the guy said this is what you got to use. She brings in enamel paint. And first of all, I didn't have any brushes for enamel. All my brushes were for latex. So I had to go get another brush. So I painted them, and they were leaving, the stuff was like molasses. There was even brush strokes all on it. So I had to, after I primed them, I thought it would like flow out, and they didn't. So I had to sand them down again. Then I went up and got water-based primer. Primered them again, and I've got 2 coats on everything. And now you have to do the first coat and then let it dry and then flip it over and do the next coat. And it needs 3 coats, but what I'm going to do, the 3rd coat, I'm not going to do until I install them back on the island. But and the island's just a small portion of all the cabinets that are in the kitchen. And I said, you know what? I ain't sitting out in this heat doing this, man. This is too much work. So we called and got an estimate, and they came out yesterday, and I forget what it was. I don't know. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But I think it was somewhere close to 18, I think. 17 something. Anyway, we're getting them to do it. I told my wife, I said, I'd rather spend the money than sit out there and I'm too old for that crap, man. Sit out there and sweat your butt off in that heat, painting cabinet doors and sanding them. Life's too short for Gary. But that's what I did. I got somebody to do them. Now I can enjoy my new speakers. See how that worked out? Oh, me. Anyway, anywho, hope everybody has a great day. It's 10:30 on Wednesday. And happy spinning. Take care, guys.